First question of the day is a super chat from Colleen Reed. She says, or he says, could be Colleen, whatever your name is, I'm sorry, but thanks for the super chat. Says, OKC drafts Cade Cunningham in 2021. Is it realistic? Go Pokes, baby. Myself and producer Dylan, Oklahoma State alumni. And you know what? If the Thunder can get high enough to take Cade Cunningham, yeah, they absolutely should. The problem is, I don't think the Thunder are going to get the number 1 overall pick. I know they have basically every pick in the world in the future. I just don't think they're going to be high enough to pick Cade Cunningham because I think he's going to be a top 5 pick, assuming he pans out the way I expect him to at the greatest school in the world, Oklahoma State University. All right, let's go to the LSU Saints. It says, should Minnesota trade the first overall pick for a superstar to form a big three with Cat and D'Angelo Russell? Should they? Yes. Can they? No. Here's why. The number 1 pick in this draft is not worthy of a superstar return. When you're talking superstars, I know you guys mean a guy like a Devin Booker or a guy like a Bradley Beal or someone that could actually be traded. I don't think either of those teams are going to give up either of those players for the number 1 overall pick. When you trade that with that number 1 pick, you're expected to get a really solid role player. I'm sorry, but Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Deni Avdija, James Wiseman, Onyeka Okongwu, those guys are really, really good, but they are not going to be superstar level talent in the future. That's why people are saying this draft is just so weak. Jon Jon Anqui says 2020 second round pick, Andrew Wiggins for LaMarcus Aldridge, DeJounte Murray, and the 11th pick. Interesting. Now, I know the Warriors don't actually own their own pick. Their pick goes to the Dallas Mavericks in the second round, but Wiggins to the Spurs for Aldridge, Murray, and the 11th. You know, I think the Spurs have to say no on this one, and here's why. Do they want to get rid of LaMarcus Aldridge? Absolutely, they do. They want that salary off their books. But DeJounte Murray in the 11th pick, that's more valuable than what you have in Wiggins. Oh, the second pick is in the number 2 overall pick, not the second round pick. Duh. Okay, you know what? That makes it a little bit more viable. Now I think the Warriors maybe say no. Sorry, I'm all over the place on this question. I'm going to say the Warriors say no. I think they can get more, and I don't think they want to take on that Aldridge salary for the second overall pick, but I think this one actually gets the Spurs thinking a little bit more. Interesting question. I'd have to think about it a little more, but I think the Warriors are going to say no because they want more than just Aldridge, Murray, and that 11th overall pick. Gia Hua says Celtics should trade for Victor Oladipo and Miles Turner for Gordon Hayward, all the picks this year, and a first-round pick next year. The Celtics need something so they can make it to the finals. So I do think it's possible to trade all those picks. You have 3 first-round picks. You got the 14th overall pick, you got the 26th overall pick, and you got the 30th overall pick. You package all those with Gordon Hayward. I do think that's possible. I think the Pacers are ready to get rid of Miles Turner's contract. Victor Oladipo does not want to be in Indiana anymore. If they want both of those guys, I think the 3 first-round picks this year and a future first-round picks are the things that are going to have to get moved to get Turner and Victor Oladipo in the same trade. I like this idea, and I do think this gets done on both sides. Timberwolf Taylor 13 coming in with the super chat. Appreciate you, Timberwolf Taylor. Says, as a frustrated Pistons fan, oh man, I feel for you. I remember last year when I made fun of the city of Detroit, and I never heard the end of it. Says, as a frustrated Pistons fan, what can we do right now to set up our future? I'm sick of the 8 seed and purgatory. You're sick of the 8 seed? Here's what you got to do. You got to tank. Get rid of Blake Griffin. I don't care if it is for a late first-round pick. Get rid of Derrick Rose. I don't care, again, if it's for a late first-round pick. Get something while you still can out of those guys, and don't try to force Blake Griffin to get healthy again. It's just not going to happen, and you can't win. So what you got to do is you got to buy into Sekou Doumbouya, buy into Luke Kennard, buy into guys like Christian Wood, buy into whoever you take in this next year's draft like a Killian Hayes, and build around them, tank for a couple more years, trust the process, and get some more lottery picks over the next 2 years. And trust me, you'll get out of that 8 seed purgatory sooner rather than later. Now, if you want to know what your favorite team is going to do with the offseason, with the NBA draft, with NBA free agency coming up, you're going to want to make sure you subscribe. And we just hit 200,000 subscribers. I don't care about 210,000, 220,000. All I care about is 300,000. That's our next big goal. So what you guys got to do is hit that subscribe button. The link is down below. It's in the description. It's in the comment section as well. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. It's your best place to go for all NBA coverage. We also have all the best NFL coverage going on right now. I mean, the NFL stuff we're doing is insane. We have a video coming out on this channel every 3 hours, every single day. You cannot find that production anywhere else on the internet. I promise that is the best place to go. So make sure you guys subscribe today. Let's go to GABA KEKE. Says, should the Lakers trade Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, and Quinn Cook for Jrue Holiday? Should they? Absolutely. Can they? Absolutely not. That kind of value is not going to land you Jrue Holiday. Guys, Jrue Holiday is one of the top 3 defensive guards in the NBA today. And trading a guy in Kyle Kuzma who's not proven, trading a guy in Danny Green who's proven garbage, and Quinn Cook, a guy that was so bad the Lakers left him in the bubble, is not going to land you Jrue Holiday. I hate to say it, but unless you're giving up future draft picks or younger players, maybe even like an Alex Caruso, there's no way you get Jrue Holiday from the New Orleans Pelicans. I know you'd be a perfect fit on this team because he answers so many questions at the point guard position where Avery Bradley technically is right now, but I just don't think that's going to happen. And by the way, if you're a Lakers fan and you haven't subscribed to our Lakers channel yet, what are you doing? Do you even bleed purple and gold? Make sure you go and subscribe today to youtube.com/LakersTV so you can subscribe to our Lakers channel today. But I'm afraid the Pelicans say no to this idea. Let's go to Vegenzo Peoples. Says, could Oklahoma City Thunder draft Cassius Stanley in the NBA draft in 2020? So Cassius Stanley didn't really pan out at Duke. He wasn't exactly what people thought he was going to be, but the Thunder do have the 25th overall pick in this first round this year. I think Cassius Stanley should be an early second-round pick. He's an incredible athlete. He makes a lot of high-energy plays, but he doesn't do anything like technically right. The thing that the Thunder have done repeatedly, wow, sorry, English is hard sometimes. They've taken guys like Terrence Ferguson. They've taken guys like Hamidou Diallo. They've drafted guys like Darius Bazley, and they bet on their athleticism and their future outlook on their game. That's what you'd be doing with Cassius Stanley. I don't know if Oklahoma City wants to do that, but I think they could take him around 25 or maybe with an earlier second-round pick. Varnell Beatnik says Cousins to the Mavs for the vet minimum. Last year, I would have said no, never, not in a million bajillion years. This year, I say maybe, but there are some conditions, and here are my conditions. Number 1, Kristaps Porzingis is not ready to go at the beginning of the season. And if he's not there at the beginning of the season, if he's not fully ready, then I think you got to get a different big man. I think DeMarcus Cousins could be a guy that answers that question. Dwight Powell is another guy who just tore his Achilles. If he's not fully healthy, maybe you need a big man like DeMarcus Cousins to come in and do that. Thirdly, you don't sign a tougher veteran. Like, there's tough veterans out there like Jay Crowder. If you can't go out and get one of those kind of guys, sure, bring in DeMarcus Cousins to be that muscle for the Dallas Mavericks. But overall, I'm going to lean no, but you could talk me into DeMarcus Cousins to Dallas to kind of protect Luka and KP. And if you are a Mavs fan, if you are a true Mavs fan, you're going to want to make sure you subscribe to All Things Mavs. YouTube.com/AllThingsMavs. You guessed it. Very easy link to go and follow right there. Make sure you subscribe. It might be a bit of a quiet offseason, but with the Dallas Mavericks, you never know when something big is going to happen. And the second it does, we'll have it for you there on that channel. So go and make sure you subscribe today to YouTube.com/AllThingsMavs. John Jr., you're next up here on NBA Now. He says, if you're the Nuggets, would you give up Michael Porter Jr. for the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick? I mean, I think I would. I like Michael Porter Jr. I think he's going to be great, but his injuries are still a big question mark. Like, yeah, he had some really good moments, but if you can go out and get like an Anthony Edwards or even I don't even know who else they would take. I think Anthony Edwards. If Anthony Edwards is available, yes, I would give him up. If you're trading up there to get, I don't know, a LaMelo Ball or another big man, then no. But if it's where Anthony Edwards is available, I would say yes, give up Michael Porter Jr. to get up and get Edwards out of Georgia. Now, whoever you're a fan of, maybe it is the Denver Nuggets or maybe you're the Minnesota Timberwolves fan, and you got to get ready to get that next jersey for that number 1 overall pick. You're going to want to go to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys today to make sure you get one of these awesome jerseys that are on sale for a limited time only and shipping for free for a limited time only. No matter who your favorite team or your favorite player is, you can get those deals at Fanatics today. And let me tell you, these things are the real deal. They're super nice material. They are the authentic Nike jerseys from NBA. So again, that's chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Make sure that's a plural jerseys, and put that link in your tab. Put it in. It's in the description. It's also in the comment section. Make sure you go check out Fanatics today at chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Nathaniel Byrd says, who will the Thunder hire as their new head coach, and who will the Thunder draft this year? Man, I have no idea who the Thunder are going to hire as their next head coach. I've heard rumors that they might kind of try and go out and get Mo Cheeks or Antonio Daniels to be the next head coach. Neither of those would surprise me. Those are the only two names that I can even think of off the top of my head that make sense for that Thunder team, because it's just such a weird position they're in. Are they going to tank? Are they going to win now? Are they going to keep Chris Paul? Are they going to trade Chris Paul? But I would look out for those two names. With the 25th overall pick, I think the Thunder will probably look to take a big man to back up Steven Adams, or maybe even to replace Steven Adams. I think a guy like a Daniel Oturu, maybe Vernon Carey Jr., maybe a Jalen Smith out of Maryland could make some sense. If they don't want that, maybe they want to go out and get another shooter. I mean, if Aaron Nesmith falls that low, or a Josh Green, maybe a Desmond Bane, but I don't think they want another guard. It'd be interesting to see. Now, talking about Chris Paul, Quay91 White comes in with a Chris Paul question. Can the Clippers get CP3? No. That relationship is strained. And I know that nobody on the Clippers is still there from when Chris Paul was there, basically, but no way they go out and get Chris Paul. Plus, who would they trade? Paul George? No, I don't think the Thunder want Paul George back, and I don't think Paul George wants to go back to the Thunder either. So, no, the Clippers are not going to get Chris Paul. They don't have the assets to make it happen. And even if they did, I don't think Chris Paul would want to play there. I think he would force his way out if he ever got traded back to the Clippers. Now, which team do you think is going to win it all in 2021? We officially have a targeted start date for next year in the 2021 NBA season in December 22nd. So, which team do you think is going to be the favorite to win it all in 2021? Do the Lakers repeat? Do the Clippers come out? Do the Milwaukee Bucks win one with Giannis Antetokounmpo? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let's go to Dominic Bruce. Who's the best free agent? Pretty plain and simple question. Pretty plain and simple answer. It's Anthony Davis. Now, is he really a free agent? Not really, because he does have a player option, but also he's just going to re-sign with the Los Angeles Lakers after he opts out of that deal. If you want one that's actually might be available, I think Brandon Ingram, but I think Brandon Ingram will go right back to New Orleans because he is a restricted free agent. So those two guys, I mean, you also have guys like Montrezl Harrell, Fred VanVleet that are available. Davis Bertans is a good one as well. But I think when you're talking your absolute best free agent, it's Anthony Davis. Ranier Albert Lazada says, Russell Westbrook to the Knicks for Kevin Knox, Julius Randle, and Taj Gibson. Rockets say no. Here's the deal. The Rockets play small ball, right? Why would they trade for two power forwards in Julius Randle and Taj Gibson? Plus, Kevin Knox hasn't done anything. Now, I'm still a believer in Kevin Knox's offensive game, but when you're drafted to be an offensive prospect and you put up 6 points per game in your second year, that ain't so good. So I think the Rockets say no unless they can go out and get a first-round pick from the Knicks over the next couple of years. Maybe a couple of those Mavs picks could entice them a little bit more. 2K Nola coming in with another super chat today. It says, who should the Pels go after in free agent, a center or a small forward? Man, if you're the Pelicans, your number one priority is absolutely re-signing Brandon Ingram. After that, you're fine. You don't have to make a lot of big moves. I think, in all reality, maybe you go out and get a big man to back up Jackson Hayes. But if I'm the Pelicans, now with Stan Van Gundy in there as the head coach, you start Jackson Hayes and you look to get him really some good reps as a starter to develop him alongside guys like Zion, Brandon Ingram, guys like Jrue Holiday, Lonzo Ball. So really, Pelicans, all you got to do is re-sign the players that you have hitting free agency this year.